Hey, what's up, peeps? Your boy PC Williams coming to y'all live on a great Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope everybody's enjoying that spring break. Well deserved that time of year, man. So thank y'all for tuning in today, man. Like I said, it's 1K Sports. Got a great show for y'all today, man. As you all know, AB got traded. NFL. The new NFL year gets started officially on Wednesday. So a lot of free agency stuff going on, draft. Draft talk stuff like that. NBA still going on. Warriors took an L last night. LeBron Lakers took an L, not going to the playoffs. A lot of storylines going into it. So, we in the dog days of the sports year where there's no football, there's no basketball is going to come to an end soon in a couple more months. So, just trying to figure it out. Baseball going to start soon. So, these are the dog days. But NFL free agency, NFL draft, NBA going on. Hey, it still goes on, baby. 1K Sports. Uncut, unbiased, unfiltered, unapologetic. Thank y'all for tuning in. Before I get started, before I say anything else, I just want to give a heartfelt shout out to my old stomping grounds, Andrew Jackson High School, the great Andrew Jackson High School on the boys basketball team. They got all the way to the state championship finals. Unfortunately came up short. I think somebody paid the refs, something like that. But all in all, man, shout out to those boys, man. Had a great season. Got to the state championship. That's a great, starting point. They'll be better, going forward. They're being coached, of course, by Andrew Jackson, great James Collins. So shout out those boys, man. Keep y'all heads up, man. Remember, man, Tigers till we die, man. Y'all keep pressing forward. Well, as you all know, what's up, man? My man, Uncle Ben, Big Ben. How's it going, man? One of the best truck drivers in the world. You know what I'm saying? Delivering y'all packages day by day. How you doing, brother? Thanks for tuning in. Well, as you all know, AB, Mr. Big Chest himself, Tony Toe Tap, whatever you want to call him, was traded to the Oakland Raiders. It's over. He's out of Pittsburgh. He's happy now. Oakland gets AB. The Pittsburgh Steelers get a 3rd and 5th round pick. If you ask me, whatever. That wasn't a good, conversation, but maybe, something's going on where it just got so bad where they say, what, AB has to go, tomorrow, today, he got to go. So, something had to get done, as you all know. Oh, yeah, big man, lifelong Jaguar fan, my dog checking in. Yo, dude, NFL going on, man. I got these updates right here, man. Nick Foles, hey, it's going down, man. I'll get to that in a second, man. But, hey, shout out to the Jaguars. They got a quarterback. We'll get that in a second, man. But, as you all know, AB's domination, AB's, what he's done is, well documented. 9 years in the NFL, 837 receptions, 11,207 yards, 74 touchdowns. So, the guy, as of right now, as we stand right now, after 9 years, I think it's safe to say he's going to the Hall of Fame if he keeps this up for the next 3 or 4 years. Big Ben, I understand your opinion, dude. But trust me, dude. In the long run, Pittsburgh really won this trade. I explain it to you, bro. Matter of fact, I explain it to you right now. Whenever you have a trade like this, the big question is who won the trade. Now, my man Big Ben Robinson from Jacksonville thinks that Oakland won that trade, and on the surface of it, Big Ben, hell yeah, because you get an all-time great receiver. Me personally, I prefer Julio Jones, but if you say AB is your top receiver, I can't argue with that either. So I got Julio, but everyone pretty much has AB as number 1 or number 2. So you get a great player. You have 3 first-round picks. You pick number 4 for your pick. You got pick number 24 from the Bears, and the Cowboys pick for Amari Cooper at 27. So you have 3 first-round draft picks. You have Antonio Brown. You have a franchise quarterback in Derek Carr. But here's the thing, though, Ben. This was a team that was just rebuilding. You got rid of Khalil Mack and Amari Cooper, like your 2 best players. So clearly you're trying to rebuild. Then you dump a pile of money in AB's lap, setting yourself way back. Not to mention, they signed Trent Brown. As an offensive lineman, I judge him harshly, but I feel like he's a little bit overrated. I think the Patriots system made him look like he's doing something, but I don't think he's really doing nothing to impress me personally. Now, it's a good deal. He's better than what they had. But me personally, I would have drafted an old lineman. You know, maybe you picked number 4. Maybe go get the dude from Alabama, Jonah Williams. Go get you a left tackle from the draft. That way, rookie contract, you got money to spend. Well, hey, on the surface, it's a good deal for the Raiders because, yeah, you are rebuilding, but you bring in AB, that makes you an instant, threat. You have AB on offense, but where's the running back? Yeah, you got Trent Brown, but the O-line is still a big question. As a matter of fact, Derek Carr himself is a question. Let's not forget, last year, they said the teammates don't respect him anymore, not a great leader, a bit overrated, big arm, one of those guys where he's got big arm, big arm talent, but not exactly, the whole package. And, me personally, I love Derek Carr. I love his spirit. He does have a great arm. But to be a quarterback, you need more than just a great arm talent. You need to control your team. You got to engage the huddle. You got to know what you're doing. You got to read this, read that. Having the arm is not all it takes. So Derek Carr's a good young quarterback. But what AB did with Big Ben in Pittsburgh, he built that over time. That was a 9-year project of those guys being on the same page. So you got Derek Carr, who's a bit sporadic with his passes. We'll see how that works out. But on the surface, it's a good deal. But then you also have to consider this. What about AB and John Gruden? AB's very outspoken. But that's the thing, man. Like, if you're Antonio Brown, do you really expect to continue your production with a quarterback that was about to get traded? Derek Carr, like I said, he has arm talent, but he was losing that locker room. And like I said, they want to trade him, so I don't think AB is going to... I don't think he's upgrading quarterback-wise. I think Big Ben, yes, he's an asshole. He's hard to deal with, hard to play with. But all things considered, Big Ben is a top 5 quarterback. Derek Carr is not. So AB benefited from Big Ben just as much as he benefited from AB. So AB is downgrading quarterback-wise. He's got a coach with your head coach has an even bigger ego than you have. So I feel like AB, all in all, man, it looks good on paper, dog, but there are still issues in Oakland that will stop them. Not to mention, you're in the AFC West. You're in the AFC West with the loaded, talented Chargers, with the Chiefs. So you got 2 of the best teams in the AFC in your division. You're not better than them right now with this trade. Yeah, you got AB, but KC said, okay, y'all got AB. We got Tyreek, you got our guy Kelsey, we got a whole squad. So, all in all, I think it was a good trade for Oakland, but there is still work to be done. But AB got his money, good for him. Then you got to think, the Las Vegas move. Will AB continue to have that same mindset being in Las Vegas? It's real easy to play football being in Pittsburgh where it's all about football. But then you go to Vegas. You're a South Florida kid, you're into all kind of, parties and like nice stuff and flashy lifestyle. What's more flashier than Las Vegas? So you put AB in Vegas, and he's a superstar in Vegas. I mean, who knows? Maybe AB takes a step back. He is 31 years old. So I understand right now it seems like Oakland won this trade, but AB is not getting younger, and this Oakland team is not. They're picking 4th in the draft for a reason. They traded Mark Cooper and Khalil Mack for a reason because they're rebuilding. AB doesn't change that overnight. Now, from the Steelers standpoint, yes, I get this point. I get this much. That team, that organization is very dysfunctional. And I never thought I'd ever say that about the Pittsburgh Steelers, but they've always been a classy organization. Everything's been done first class. Everything's been done right by the book, day in and day out. So it's kind of hard to envision this franchise being the way it is now, but it is what it is. They are very dysfunctional, and they are very toxic right now. But it's still Pittsburgh. The standard is the standard. It goes on. This is not Pittsburgh's first rodeo. This is not the first time they got rid of a big-time receiver, and they still went on. Prime example, AB not the first. L. Bell not the first. Think about Pittsburgh and their history. You had Plaxico Burress. Back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons with Plaxico Burress. They got rid of him. They had Hines Ward, Hall of Fame receiver. They got rid of him. You had Santonio Holmes, Pro Bowl receiver. MVP of the Super Bowl, got rid of him. You had Mike Wallace, Pro Bowl receiver, got rid of him. We got some breaking news from my man Big Ben. Matter of fact, just came to the phone right here. Terrell Suggs going to the Arizona Cardinals. Dang, as a Cowboy fan, I would hope we had got the dude, but he going to the Cardinals. I don't know why. From my research, he owns a home out there in I think Scottsdale. So maybe he's like, thinking about retirement, one last shot at it, going on by his business, I think. So, but like I was saying, like Pittsburgh, this is not their first time, having to replace a big-time receiver. Like I just said, you got Plaxico, big-time receiver when he played there. Hines Ward's going to the Hall of Fame. Santonio Holmes was great when he was there. So is Mike Wallace. So AB is just the latest in the long line of diva, big ego receivers that they've had to replace or move on from. So Pittsburgh is very equipped to move on from AB. Now, is Juju or James Washington, are they better than AB? Hell no, they couldn't shine AB's shoes. But Pittsburgh at the time, I didn't think AB was better than Mike Wallace. I didn't think Mike Wallace was better than Santonio Holmes. But Pittsburgh has done this time and time again where they move on from one big-time receiver to another one. So will Juju step in? He's still 22 years old. I still think he has a lot to learn. A little immature at times, a little too outspoken at times. We'll see how he goes into that leadership role as a receiver, being the number one guy. Because I also feel like Juju has benefited from playing on the other side of AB. So we'll see how it plays out being number one. James Washington, he has talent. Vance McDonald is a beast. James Conner, is Le'Veon Bell? No, once again, he's not Le'Veon Bell. But he put up Le'Veon Bell-like numbers in this offense. Now, once again, he's not Le'Veon Bell. He doesn't give you that extra pop, that extra burst. But he can still give you 1,300 yards, maybe 800-yard receiving. Like, that's doable. The guy you can make it work with that. So, no, he's not Le'Veon Bell, but you have replacements that can ball in the replacement. So, all in all, I understand the Raiders, they're going to win the headlines. They're probably going to be talked about more than the Steelers. Le'Veon Bell's going, AB is going, but trust me, in the long haul, you always see what I mean. The Pittsburgh Steelers really won this trade, in the long haul. Now, AB got what he wanted. He got new money. He's happy. He get to go to Las Vegas in a year. He's a Raider. He's happy. AB is a Raider. He's a rebel. The black hole, that culture, he fits right in. But in the long haul, Pittsburgh will still be a playoff team. The Raiders, you're in the AFC West. You have to worry about getting out your own division. Think about it, you're the Raiders. You're not even the best team or the second best team in your own division. You have the Chargers and you have the Chiefs. They are much better than you even with AB. So this team has a long way to go, man. So all in all, I think Pittsburgh will win the war on this trade when it's all said and done. Like I said, NFL updates on free agency. My man T. Sizzle going to the Cardinals. Landon Collins going to the Redskins. I don't know. Roll Tide, love some Roll Tide dudes get their money. But Landon Collins, just when I thought he was leaving our division, just when I thought no more, LC, no more Landon Collins. Once again, he's in our division. He's a Redskin, signed a big old fat contract. 6 years, $84 million. $14 million a year, not too bad. That's great. Nick Foles, the Jaguars have a quarterback. Duval, you have a quarterback. Nick Foles signed with the Jacksonville Jaguars, 4 years, $88 million. That's $22 million a year for all y'all who attended Reebok or Reigns. But it's a good deal for the Jaguars. Me personally, I feel like, the Jaguars, they feel like if our quarterback just goes out there and is just somewhat good, just somewhat okay, we got a shot. They got all the way to the fourth quarter of the AFC Championship game against the Patriots with Blake Bortles. Now you bring in Nick Foles. He provides stability. Let's call it what it is. Blake Bortles suck. Let's call it what it is. Blake Bortles suck, okay? We all figured out. I tried to tell y'all. You didn't believe me. So Blake Bortles sucked. He's out. Nick Foles gives you stability. He gives that defense a calm nerve now. Now, Jalen Ramsey and that defense, they don't have to worry about now, okay, we have our quarterback. We have our guy. Let's go out there and play ball. There's no more trash in the backfield. Fournette has to step up. If I'm Jacksonville, I still draft a running back to push Fournette. But Fournette, he is talented. You are invested in him with the draft pick where you picked him at. So, he's very talented, but very troubled, very controversial, can't stay healthy. But for right now, he is your guy. But I would draft another running back to kind of push him, to kind of motivate him a little bit, to stay on track and stay in shape, and stay on the field. But it was a good pick for the Jaguars. I feel like Nick Foles makes them a competitor. And I feel like that division is wide open. You have the Titans, they're up and down. You have the Texans, they're up and down. The Colts, they have rebounded. They have a pretty good team. A lot of cap space, a lot of free agents going to come in there. So we'll see how that plays out with the Colts. But right now, I feel like the AFC South is wide open. The Colts did surprise everyone last year. I feel like they'll take a step back this year. They'll still be good. But I feel like that division in itself is still wide open for the taking. Well, on to my beloved Cowboys. My beloved Cowboys. Well, just from my perspective, people ask me all the time, what should we do? How should we approach free agency? We had a good year, got a good, a great young core of talent that we have right now, on defense and on offense, man. So, just me as a Cowboy fan, the priority is simple right now. Sign Zeke Elliott. Sign Zeke. Do what the Rams did. Sign your running back after year 3. Running backs don't age well. Zeke has played 3 years already. He's had, a lot of carries already, a lot of touches. So sign Zeke up right now. That way, you sign Zeke right now at age 24. That way, when the contract is up, you have this last year in this contract plus the extension. You got 5 or 6 years of Zeke Elliott in his prime. That way, when the contract expires, Zeke is probably, 29, 30 years old. Then you cut loose with him, whatever you got to do. But re-sign Zeke, that's the first priority. Second priority, re-sign DeMarcus Ware, but at a fair price. Because the big issue I have in the NFL, and it seems like everybody wants to apply this rule to Dak Prescott only. No, that's not fair. And here's why it's not fair. Nowadays in the NFL, it's not about who's the best and that's who gets paid the most. It's about who's the latest. Who's next up to get paid. If you ask me personally, is Mike Evans a better receiver than Julio Jones? Hell no. But why does Mike Evans make more than Julio Jones? Because it was Mike Evans' time to get paid. Is Odell a better receiver than AB? Well, no, not AB, but is he a better receiver than D-Hop? No. But he's getting paid more than D-Hop because he was the latest. It was his time. And I feel like when it's your time to get paid, everyone's being overpaid. So I feel like the Cowboys have to do this. Go to DeMarcus Ware. No, DeMarcus Lawrence and say this. Look, dude, you're good. You're a top 5 DN. You're pretty damn good. You rush the passer, stop the run. You're great. You're young. You're a great Cowboy. But you're not Von Miller. You're not Aaron Donald. All right? We love you, but we're not going to break the bank to overpay you. You are worth the money, but you're not worth the whole bank account. This is a salary cap league. I know Jerry Jones 50 rich, but if Jerry Jones could, he'd pay all these guys. But that's not how it works. There is a salary cap issue in the league. You will have to take pay cuts if you want to keep a team together. So I would go to DeMarcus Ware and DeMarcus Lawrence, and I would say, look, dude, just take a pay cut. Just take a small little chunk. We're not saying, accept, flea bags. No, we're just saying take a couple million off of there. Take about $5 million off of your offer, and maybe we can do something. But we can't overpay you because you got to sign Zeke. You gave a first-round pick for Amari Cooper, so you kind of have to re-sign him soon. You got Byron Jones, you got to re-sign him. You got, Jalen Smith coming up next year, you got to re-sign him. So I think Jerry Jones has to convince DeMarcus Lawrence to not ask for the whole bank. And Dak Prescott too. Make Zeke Elliott the highest paid running back because he deserves it. He's the most valuable running back in football. No running back has more responsibilities for his team's success than Zeke Elliott. So he deserves top-notch money because he's the best running back in the NFL. Demarcus Lawrence, you are not the best pass rusher in football. You're not the best DN in football. That's just a sad reality. So you can't get that kind of money. We'll pay you $15 million a year. We'll give you that much, but we cannot break the bank for you, dude. Just can't be done. Get Earl Thomas at our price. Like I said, let's not overpay. If Earl Thomas wants $15 million, sorry, Earl, we love you too, man, but you got to go. We can't sign you. But I would love to have Earl Thomas, but I feel like the Cowboys have leverage because Earl Thomas is once again coming off a broken leg, another injury that ruined the season. So now you got 2 broken legs. You know, you're getting old. So I feel like the Cowboys have the leverage in this battle. But if Earl Thomas is in high demand and he wants $15 million a year, sorry, dude, can't do it. Now, I want to tip my Cowboy hat to my man Sean Lee, who has decided to stay with the Cowboys, but took a pay cut and change position. So now the Cowboys easily have the best linebacking trio in the NFL. You have Sean Lee at strong side, Jalen in the middle, and Vintage on the outside at the strong side. So, big up to Sean Lee. His pay cut may give us room to re-sign someone else. You know, maybe another pass rusher or another safety. We'll see how that plays out. But as far as Amari Cooper is concerned, you have to exercise the option of Amari Cooper because you pretty much gave your first round pick for him. So you have to re-sign him or it makes no sense. You also have Byron Jones, a guy you drafted that has, you know, was up and down but kind of found himself. But here's my point. I would hold off on re-signing Amari Cooper and Byron Jones just because I feel like I want to see more. Amari Cooper, when he's focused, is a great receiver, a good young receiver. But there are times where, and it's not always his fault, but there are times where there are games where he'll have 1 catch or 2 catches and just not have a good game. But because he's not so outspoken, it seems like he doesn't care. But I would need for Amari Cooper to just show me something else, man. I do want to re-sign you, but go out there and put it together for a whole year. Now, Amari Cooper has been in the NFL for 4 years. Now, 3 of those 4 years, he had 1,000 yards, went to the Pro Bowl and all of that. But I need Amari Cooper to have that breakout year. He's had 3 1,000-yard seasons in 4 years. But he hasn't had that breakout, 1,300, 1,400, 1,500-yard season just yet. So I would love to see that from Amari Cooper. Then I'll re-sign him, and I have no problem with that. All right. Well, as you all know, NFL is going through free agency and the draft process, and college football is currently going through spring practice. And that means Alabama is back at work. Now, what are my expectations for Alabama this year? Well, it's plain and simple. I believe Bama got beat down in a championship game by Clemson. We all saw it, whatever. But I think Bama learned from that. They will learn from that. It happens. Sometimes it's your time to get beat down. Sometimes it's your day. It wasn't your day. It wasn't your day. I'm not finna bail out of my team. You still have Nick Saban. You're still Alabama. We still run the show. We still the top dog in the world. Doesn't matter. Tua had a great year last year. Had a rough ending, had the ankle injury. He got beat down in the championship game, but I think this year he has a full year on this belt as a starter. He'll come back even better. Though receivers will be a year better, a year older, they'll be fine-tuned. It's finally time for Najee Harris to eat. As you all know, he was #1 recruit in California at running back. He comes in, sits behind Damian Harris and Josh Jacobs for 2 years. Now it's finally his time, and Bama has to get back to Bama football. We haven't had excuse me, we haven't had that big, workhorse running back since Derrick Henry. I think Najee is the most talented running back that we've had since Derrick Henry. That's not a knock on Jacobs or Damian Harris, but they're more complementary backs. They're great for a system, a trio of backs. Najee Harris is a guy who needs the ball about 20 times a game to be effective. So he'll be our new battering ram. He'll be our new Mark Ingram and Derrick Henry and Lacey. He'll be that guy for us. So Najee will be coming to his own finally. O-line will be fine. The receivers will be fine. I think defense-wise, we lose Quentin Williams. We lose Matt Wilson, Deontay Thompson, Isaiah Buzz. We do bring back, Raekwon Davis, a big man in the middle. Dallin Moses, the next C.J. Mosley, if you ask me. Pat Surtain Jr., Xavier McKinney, and Terrell Lewis be our new pass rusher. So I think Bama, all in all, will have a great year. I'm not worried about them. It was one game. I'm not going to let one game define this team. Bama will be back next year. I fully expect this team to compete and be right back where they were last year, only this time they get the job done. Well, there seems to be an issue in Oakland. Maybe it's trouble in paradise. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But it seems to me that the Golden State Warriors look very, very vulnerable these days. And the reason why I say that is because, when you've been on top, how they've been on top. They've won 3 out of the last 4 NBA championships. So, they look bored. But to me, at times, Golden State looks trashy. Like, they look like they trash. Like, they look bad at times. Took an L last night to the Suns. Worst team in the league. That's no excuse. I mean, the Golden State Warriors, I understand they want to get to the playoffs. And before I go any further, let's not make no mistake about it. Golden State is still the best team in basketball. In their best of the 7 series, they'll beat anyone. But there is a chick in this armor. And here are a few of those chicks. Draymond Green has been proven to be overrated just a little bit. Now, the reason why I said because a lot of folks have already put Draymond in the Hall of Fame. He is not a Hall of Famer. Maybe he will be, but not right now. He's had a great run with the Warriors. Like I said, he's a system utility player. He's great for that team. He's very valuable for the Warriors. But as a player, he is not that great, and you're starting to see it. Draymond Green, to me, has reached his ceiling. He can't go any further. We have seen the best of Draymond Green, if you ask me. That's not his fault. It's not his fault that everyone kind of overhyped him. Draymond Green cannot carry a team by himself. He's very valuable. He's a Dennis Rodman type player. But he can't carry a team by himself. He can't be that guy to make those plays in that game. So Draymond has taken a step back. And his teammates and coach seem to be very kind of, turned off by him. You heard Steve Kerr. I don't know if you read lips, but last night he was caught on camera saying, "I'm so effing tired of Draymond's ish." Not ish, but you know what I mean. So clearly Draymond has become more tail than show. He's become more mouth than, going out there and showing what he can do, then talking. And that can ruin your career. When you start becoming more of this and less basketball playing, that's when it's time for you to go. I also feel like Boogie and Steph Curry are a liability on defense. Now, Steph Curry, as we all know, couldn't guard nobody. But you could always hide him because the Warriors, the thing that we get lost in, with all this and all their scoring and shooting, they are a great defensive team. So when you look at the Warriors, Klay Thompson can play defense. KD plays great defense. Draymond plays great defense. Iguodala, Livingston, they all play good defense. But now you bring in another guy that can't play defense. So now you have 2 guys on the court at the same time that can't guard nobody. So that's a problem. I feel like the Warriors, they've always been, strength in numbers. Right now, they look like they're not having any depth. Iguodala's getting old. Livingston's getting old. The bench is not quite what it was in the years past. They're very, very strong in the top in their starting five with KD stuff, Clay, Draymond, the whole crew. But their depth is not there. If you ask me, Boston, Toronto, Houston, Milwaukee, they all have more depth than the Warriors. And all those teams I just named are a threat to the Warriors. Now, their biggest threats in their own conference is, of course, Houston. You got James Harden, who's going crazy right now. Chris Paul, the whole crew. You got Fareed and Chumper and free agent. You got them traded. You got them in. So you got a proven champion, a rebound monster to go with Harden and Tucker and all these guys. So, but their biggest threat to me is Houston, and to get to the finals, be Boston. I feel like Boston is a team that just doesn't realize how much in their way they are. They're in their own way right now. And Boston, if they get together, they can beat Golden State in a 7-game series right now. If they met right now, I'd choose Boston because of how they're playing right now. So they're the biggest threat if you ask me. But like I said, the playoffs, different story. We'll see how it plays out. We'll see how it goes, man. All right. My last story of the day. As you all know, last night, Jeff Van Gundy, who's been known to just kind of talk sometimes without thinking, made a very, I'd say very interesting point. He suggested the Lakers trade LeBron James. Now, of course, everybody, including Mark Jackson, called him crazy and said, "What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Trade LeBron James? Yeah, it sounds crazy. Trade LeBron James? That sounds very crazy. Or does it? Think about it. That whole AD thing is over. That bridge got burned to the ground. You're not getting AD. Okay, so cross that out. You had Lonzo Ball, Ingram, Kuzma as trade bait because they're young, talented, bright future. Well, Lonzo Ball looking more like a bust. Ingram has a very serious infection in his arm that could cost him some time in the league right now. And Kuzma's hurt. So now your trade assets, you got rid of Zubac already. So now your trade assets are now damaged goods. Lance Stevenson, Rondo, McGee, they're all on 1-year deals, so they're out. So then you have this issue. You got KD. Well, KD's already said he's not joining you, LeBron. And Kyrie, I know y'all tight now. Kyrie and KD are going to New York. Plain and simple. The two of those guys are going to New York. So LeBron, if you're thinking about going back with Kyrie or getting KD, cross that out. They're not coming to play with you either. Kawhi Leonard said he's not playing with you. Cross that out. Stop trying for Zion? I don't know. But that won't change nothing. That won't change anything. Excuse me. So trading LeBron James, yes, it sounds crazy, but it makes sense. Because the way it's going right now, the West is still loaded. It's not getting any younger. Even if Golden State breaks up, you still have Utah, you still have Denver, you still got Houston, you still got Milwaukee in the East, Boston, Philadelphia. So if Golden State is over, then that doesn't mean the Lakers are going to be the second best team. No, that means that the Golden State Warriors will be out the way, and you will have the Celtics and the 76ers and the Houston Rockets and these young teams in the West. OKC, forgot about them. OKC could be a very dangerous threat to anyone. So trading LeBron James, it sounds crazy, but trust me, it'll make sense. Now, me personally, I wouldn't trade LeBron James because LeBron, you came here for a reason. Your legacy is already affected by the fact that you came to the West. Everyone always been saying, on my very first podcast, I said this. LeBron James' legacy can go two ways by going out West. It can enhance or decline. And I think going out West, after 1 year, it declined. You're missing the playoffs. You went to a tougher conference. Yeah, you got hurt and all that. But if LeBron James missed 18 games in Cleveland, I still expect to make the playoffs. So same thing in LA. Yeah, there was injuries and whatever, but no. You're the king, get it done. So I don't know. AD's not coming. KD's not coming. Kyrie's not coming. Kawhi's not coming. I don't know. Maybe you can call Boogie and say, look, after your 1 year deal with the Warriors, come play with me. I don't know. But I wouldn't trade LeBron James because, hey, you are the reason. You were brought here to do a job. Do your job, LeBron James. So I wouldn't trade LeBron. I feel like Magic and LeBron need to regroup. You know, of course, you know, the whole AD trade is, you know, that's over. You know, that bridge got burned to the ground. Cut your losses. You know, like I said, stop trying for Zion. That might not solve everything. You could try that or stop trying that. Like I said, KD and Kyrie going to New York. You know, so why not trade LeBron James and get a whole bunch of stuff back for him? But me personally, I wouldn't do it. LeBron, you came to LA to prove your point. Come prove your point and be a man. Plain and simple. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's my show for the day, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Like I said, man, we got some stuff going on, man. The draft coming up. NFL free agency. The NFL's New Year starts on Wednesday, so all these deals getting done, things getting taken care of, man. Like I said, man, time is ticking down, man. We're in March. Pretty soon we'll be in June. Pretty soon we'll be in August and September. So hold tight, y'all. Football, we'll be back pretty soon before you know it. But in the meantime, I'll keep y'all listed with these good sports talking and all that stuff like that, man. But in the meantime, this is 1K Sports, man. Like I said, uncut, unbiased, unfiltered, unapologetic. Thank y'all. Have a great day.